Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Saturday morning with the UltraCast. I am once again your beloved host, Hunter, aka the Ultra American TTRPG, or also known as the Jim Jones of Classic Gaming, and now also everyone's favorite Aryan Tiefling when you see me on Rustic Rollers now these days. And so I hope everyone had a good week. Hopefully, work is not getting too busy for all you out there with the Christmas rush still kicking in. And so I know my work week was just, whew, it was crazy because besides the Rustic Roller session we did on this past Sunday, I got no other gaming in at all this week. That was the only thing I
Mm.
got in. So, and of course, I'm joined by only two today because OSR Dwarf was not able to show us, and Duskquill unfortunately has no access to a computer at the moment because he is finally on his way back from his
Mm.
military leave, and it will be now back among the normies once more. So at some point,
Congrats.
so
Hopefully he'll be here next week, but we'll find out.
Yeah, for
all
real.
right. So I got again Mr. Country Time Pop himself, Roger, and the one that's knows everything almost Star Trek, Marhawk Man as well. How you guys doing
Hey,
today?
I'm
Howdy,
good.
everyone. But hey, you have to admit that session that we had for Curse of Strahd, that went places that you didn't expect it to go.
Oh, that was crazy. Yeah, because I didn't think y'all would actually go to so spoiler alert for those who unless you haven't watched it yet, but those who are familiar with Crystal Straw know there's the old bone grinder encounter with the night hags is a very dangerous encounter that usually
Mhm.
if you start because if you start your characters off at level 1 with the weird death house thing and go on from there, your characters will usually most certainly die against the night hags. The problem was I was rolling so shit on her attack rolls. I only think she only hit like twice.
I think so.
Yeah, because she got Dash's character once. She got Valkyria's character once. Missed you, I think, and Miss Valkyria.
Mm-hmm.
The rogue character was able to do perfect stealth and attack from stealth. So y'all were just
I
kind of
don't know how
chipping away
stealth
at
actually works.
yeah. Yeah, because so one thing they found out, Marhawk Man, is when you do sneak attack damage from with an attack, it's supposed to be the same damage type as the weapon you're attacking with. And
Mm.
apparently they never knew that.
No. We thought sneak attack was like its own thing.
Okay, yeah, that's one of those things. Is just like I mean, my understanding is that it just increases the damage that the actual weapon attack does. So
It
Yeah.
does,
So
yeah. But
all
they
I
didn't
know
know
is
that it was the they didn't know that it was supposed to be the same damage type. They thought it was like a separate thing.
yeah, so all I know is that makes previous battles that people had in other campaigns that I run makes so much more sense on why they were able to beat them so easily.
Yeah, because with night hags are about basically unless it's a magical weapon, night hags are almost impervious to just about everything you can throw at them. They're very resistant.
right, but a sneak attack with a weapon that on its own deals only one damage. Well, having that be magical and thus bypass their immunity to normal mundane weapons, and then add 3d6 bonus damage on top of that. Well, that actually does something.
Yeah, if you did sneak attack damage with a magical weapon, then yeah, all that would go through. But if you're doing sneak attack damage with a normal weapon and the resistance to that weapon types of damage, then yeah, that's also going to get halved as well.
Yeah.
And so, but what here's the funny part was one they just Roger's character had the brilliant idea to tell Dash's character, who had the ability to create flaming spheres, set the windmill on fire. Now, granted, at this time, they had not gone inside the actual windmill yet itself. I
Yep.
had actually rolled on a look. I had actually rolled on like a luck thing to see is Morgantha the night hag actually there? So because there's a chance she wouldn't have been there, but she was there, and so they ended up meeting her outside the windmill, and just rolled so poorly against trying to deceive against her when the paladin used her divine sense to realize, oh crap, there's evil here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, set the house on fire, not realizing that there were captured kids inside, which they unfortunately were able to rescue in the nick of time.
Yeah, because wasn't it Dash who was the one that was able to actually hear the kids?
Yeah, because I had y'all roll perception. Yeah, he heard the crying child cries, turned into a wolf, dashed inside, went up the stairs, got the kids loose, then turned into a horse and jumped out through the top floor, the window of the windmill with the kids on his back.
Yeah. And Valkyria shoved the witch in the burning lighthouse.
Yeah, after like the fourth time rolling for a grapple check.
Yeah.
Those grapple checks he was having such bad luck with them. And at that point, I'm like, you throw someone in the fire, the door on them, they're not going to survive.
Yeah, because we didn't even get her down the half held from what you told us.
Yeah, she had like 112 hit points. You got her down to like 71, I think, if I recall correctly. So, fortunately, you did not have to fight against her daughters. That was the good thing about that.
Yeah, because that was the other thing is that Dash's character went up the stairs and actually confronted the daughters, but they had no idea what was going on, so they
blipped out
of there.
Yep.
So yeah,
so
that
was a crazy session. Marhogman, did you get any gaming in this week?
Well, doing prep for like 2 different online games, but one of those is like something that I didn't do anything other than talking on Discord. About either one of them yet, but whatever.
Yeah, so it's actually funny because I just remembered this now. I don't know if you both follow this lady on YouTube. She goes by RPG Grandma, and she does, she does these series where she'll go over like old games, the box sets and the rules that go for them. And she's currently doing she's going over the basic Star Frontiers game and rule set, which was TSR's kind of answer to a Star Trek RPG at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, you can actually find it. It's like Star Frontiers Alpha Dawn, I believe is what it's called. You can actually get it on a drive-through right now. It's one of those old TSR products that it's actually funny because the story behind that one was there were a couple creators at TSR that were creating the Star Trek game, and they presented it to, I think it was the Bloom brothers at the time were in charge of TSR, and they said no, this won't sell. But then they took the game from the creators and then just sold it under their own name, not giving the original creators of it any credit.
Yeah, there's been some like things in the TTRPG industry that are just like peak scummy corpo stuff. Boy.
Yeah. So I guess do you play like the Modiphius Star Trek game, or is there a different one that you play? That's Star Trek.
Me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you, Mom, man. Sorry.
Well, I actually just played the Star Trek Adventures one, which that's the Modiphius one. But it's like,
okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's like it actually has skill checks in it, and if the person writing the adventure, to put it loosely, actually does it right, the skill checks in it are actually meaningful objectives to getting the mission done. And honestly, as a system, I actually think that the mechanics of it are pretty good.
All right. You back with us now, Roger?
Yeah. Apparently, the mailman came and dropped something off, so I went to go see it, and I'm actually shocked of what showed up because I didn't think it was going to be here until Tuesday.
Ooh,
because
show it off. What'd you get?
I got the 4K collection of the original TMNT movie trilogy.
Okay, that's cool. Is that DVD or Blu-ray?
4K.
Okay. So that's interesting.
Yeah, because technically this isn't even supposed to come out until next Tuesday. But where I went on ahead and pre-ordered it, I was able to get it early.
Yeah, so I actually got a little thing in too. I already opened it up like the other day, but I ordered these dice from. So one of my favorite games that I played when I got into the hobby first was a game called City of Mist, which is a unique. It's a variation of the Power of the Apocalypse system, but it's modern day people with extraordinary powers. So you have people that are like you have like a construction worker that we can wield like Thor's hammer. You have like an investigator that can control plants, all that kind of stuff. And when they had one of their books, they released a new set of these. They're double six-sided dice, and these were the ones they released for like a special for one of their books. So they're so they're red and yellow. And then
Okay.
the original ones that I also own too, because I bought a couple of the original. This is what the original ones look like. They were just purple and gray, but they're double these. They're basically double these sixes on 12-sided dice. So so it's 1 through 6 twice on the same dice.
Hmm.
All right, so trying to want to talk about first before we get into the crazy weeds of everything that's been going on this past week.
Hmm.
Oh no, I
Oh,
remember what
I
it
got
was now that I wanted
I,
to talk about.
Okay, go ahead.
I gotta find the article first. So Bar Hockman, go ahead and say what you want to say while I'm looking up this article.
I was just going to say, it's like, what game system do you think would work best for SWAT cats?
Hmm.
It's honestly, at first glance, it's just like that doesn't sound all that hard. Just use anything vaguely OSR-ish that has, the whole like
Well, that is the question though.
monsters
Are you wanting
and
them?
sci-fi text aspect to it. That doesn't sound hard. Then you realize, like, oh wait, the big feature of a SWAT cat RPG is that you need to have vehicle combat.
Yeah.
But I guess the question is though, do you want it to be more focused on a story where it's like you're doing like an episode, or you want like the actual nitty gritty mechanics of it to where you like have to like you got all your power cell weapons, your armor and all that, your vehicle combat. Because
Well,
I would say you could probably easily do it with White Star
hmm.
and just reflavor it to be more of like a cyberpunk than the space opera.
Could be, I guess. I'm not familiar with that system, but because
Uh,
that was actually the main thing that was a sticking point for me when I pondered this months back, or maybe last year sometime. I don't remember. Was that it has to be something where you are actually going to be expected to use vehicles as fighting for at least part of the adventure, and I most of the games I've played just don't do that.
well, I'm trying to think of other games with combat things. Like I'm trying to think. Probably any of the probably like Cities Without Number. I think would you might be able to do that. You just have to like add in for your characters being like cat people instead, because that's surprisingly all these OSR games that I find out, and yet you don't see like the Tabaxi option or
Hmm.
like a cat folk option in a lot of the OSR games. It's only mainly D&D you find Tabaxis in.
Well, that's an interesting thing, is that in SWAT cats, they actually only on very rare occasions show people doing cat things. They mostly just, like, act like people. Although, again,
It's more
that
just a
varies
whole
by
thing of them
episode.
being. It's more of just the whole entire thing of them being cats. It's just a aesthetic choice than
Yeah.
anything else.
So you wouldn't even need to have like racial traits for it. You could just say, "Hey, I have a cat person," and they make this like they're like this elite SWAT team.
Exactly.
Because like they do make a point of things like, it's like, yes, they do have retractable claws, but for the most part, retractable claws are useless as a weapon in combat, because of the fact that they do such pitiful damage that no one cares.
Yeah.
It's basically only good for if you are get disarmed at any point. You have something to go back to
Well,
fall upon.
actually, one of the things that they showed in there is that, like, generic martial arts are apparently more effective for them than trying to use claw strikes. But
Okay.
one of the few times they actually show them doing it is like when someone wants to open a letter. He's like, I'll just use my claw.
Yep. So, did you have anything you wanted to mention, Roger, before I read this article that I found?
I found this out yesterday about two things happening today. One, the My Hero Academia anime is ending, and two, John Cena is apparently retiring from wrestling.
Well, we all knew for a while that My Hero Academia was going to be coming to an end at some point. It was only a matter of when. John Cena retiring, a lot of us were just like, thank God.
I was actually wondering if he was going to end up like Hulk Hogan and keep doing it until his age caught up with him. And he's like, you know what? I will either find a new job or end up like Kurt Angle.
We just get a telephone call from John Cena one day, calling like some poor Chinese person like a racial slur, like we did with Hulk Hogan.
I mean, in Hulk Hogan's case, when you like actually like look up the whole thing, like, oh, you know what? Never mind. I don't care. Did he say something mean? Sure. Did the guy on the other end of the line deserve it?
Yeah, kind of going off topic here because that just made me remind this. But did you all see about the woman from Cinnabon who got fired because she called these salami people that were harassing her the N-word? Did you all hear about that story?
Yeah,
I've heard it and I've seen the video.
That's one of those things where if you see the edited clip that's just her yelling at someone, okay, that looks bad. When you find out that these people were basically just terrorizing the restaurant the entire day,
yeah,
because it's like I'm not going to say people should be allowed to use the N-word or racial slurs and all that. I'm not going to be all like that. But if you're going to act like one, you deserve to be treated like one. That's basically kind of my point there.
My thought with that whole thing, and this is the conclusion I came to back in the 90s when I was a teenager, being forced to learn about this for the first time, is like, okay, you're being mean to someone. So what? There's a whole lot of other mean things you can say to people. Why is that one special?
I'm all for people saying the most heinous, disgusting shit on there, and then I have the right to then call them out for it. That's why free speech is so great, is people can say the most stupidest things, the most disgusting things, and then we can use our right to call them out for that. If we take away the right for people to be able to say those words, then you can't have that dialogue.
Yeah, it's flipping the script on one of my favorite things to say about online discourse. It's like, yes, you have the freedom to say anything you want. I have the freedom to tell you to get lost if I don't like what you have to say.
Well, then it also brings in the whole entire other argument of people thinking that, oh, I thought you believed in free speech and all that. Because, like, look at what happened to that one guy that was threatening ICE agents, being very specific about it.
Okay, there's a big difference though.
No. This is what I'm getting at, is that you see that, and it's these people that say like, I thought you all were for free speech and all that. It's like, yeah, you can say that. That doesn't mean that what you say doesn't come with consequences. People seem to forget actions, no matter what, will have consequences to it. So yeah, you can say what you want, but that doesn't mean that you're just going to get away with it.
Yeah, I could call a black person the N-word, and they're either going to knock my lights out for it, or they're going to do what they did to Peter Griffin and just make him king of the blacks in that one Family Guy clip. But it's the same thing. That Chris Rock has this famous line where he goes, "Who hates?" It's like, who do black people hate more, white people or other black people? It's like, and black people hate black people too. But it's kind of the clean way of me saying it without going on all the colorful language he used for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I when I was in the Army, had a lot of black people as coworkers. And I say that from the context of people who self-identify as black people, not merely being dark-skinned individuals, because, yeah, there's a difference. But, like, some of these guys, is like, their thoughts on it were basically, it's just like, why would I want to be put being a black person as the like most important part of my self-identity, because of the fact that, like, if that's the most important part of your self-identity, you really don't have anything as a person.
It's almost the same way that people who make it to where all they talk about is them being gay or trans, and that's the only thing they talk about. Shows that they literally have nothing else in their lives.
They're self-marginalizing.
Yep.
There's literally VTubers that I came across out there that literally just are only just they make being like trans or gay their quality feature.
Looking at you, Nara, you fucking freak.
Well, that's
Yeah.
actually one of those things that's in some ways kind of what's the best way to put this? It's a gimmick with some of them, but the gimmick takes over the thing because they are trying to commit to the bit, but they forget that they need to have it like work with other things, and it ends up being like the only thing they pay attention to.
Yeah. Another
Ah.
thing that I found out is from watching shorts is, especially following some veteran like military content creators, is the army is completely okay with racism in their ranks, because there's this one viral video that goes around. It's this guy, they're in their army outfits, and one guy's just playing electric guitar, and he's got one friend sitting across, he's playing one song. Another friend walks in, he switches up, plays a different song. Another military guy walks in, and he's got a turban on his head. Immediately, the guy goes dun 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 dun. And they're all just laughing about it, though.
Well, see, here's the thing though, is there's a difference between making jokes that look at what someone's race is, and actually being abusive and using someone's race as a reason to be abusive towards them. That's the thing that people keep forgetting in all these discussions about race, is that me noticing the fact that I'm talking to a Chinese person is not me being racist. It's just me looking at the fact that I'm talking to a Chinese person. It's a simple fact of life. Trying to call it racism, the fact that you notice that you're talking to a Chinese person, is just backwards and, well, racist, quite frankly.
I love the
Or it's the whole thing that you don't pay attention to their race or ethnicity that makes you racist.
See,
That's a
'cause-
whole
'cause
other
like-
argument there.
It's like, you don't
a
recognize
lot
my
of-
color, you're racist. You recognize me by my color, you're racist.
Yeah, because like people are just using it as an excuse to throw slurs at people at this point. Because like there's no meaningful discussion behind it. People just want to mudsling and are using it as an excuse. And it's just like, why are you bothering?
My favorite, another short I came across, is the Chinese guy doing the American accent, and all he does is just widen his eyes. And it's like, I like to put this on my credit card. Do you have anything gluten free? It's just,
I've seen that.
yeah,
That was a
But-
good one, actually.
yeah. But it's just funny, like the reverse racism that people do now for like joking content is also just as can be pretty funny sometimes. Just
But that's
depends on the
just it,
creator.
though. It's that it's not really reverse racism, because of the fact that to call it reverse racism implies that there was a specific polarity to racism in the first place.
And again, I mean, everything was fine. We all from the 90s and the early 2000s, we were all fine until Obama got in office.
Obama is the first person to get elected as U.S. president based on being a token.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which I never realized that's why Token in South Park was, and that was why everyone called him Token until they just outright said it. And then you find out later, oh, his name is Tolkien because his dad was an avid fan of Lord of the Rings in the series.
And then they actually went back to the older episodes and actually altered it to where they're saying Tolkien.
Did they really?
Yes.
Oh, that's kind of
creators-
shit.
The creators of South Park, at some point in time, they just kind of sort of became unfunny, and then lost the ability to laugh at their own jokes.
I mean, like the little specials that they did, like the COVID special, the God, what's that? What was that weight losing drug that everybody was using? Ozempic? Not Ozempic.
I remember the last one I watched was when they had PewDiePie as a guest appearance with Cartman being like, a transgender streamer or something.
Oh yeah, that was like the streamer special and whatnot. Those were actually pretty funny. I couldn't tell you when was the last season I actually watched the South Park. I can tell you when I stopped watching seasons. It was when Randy opened up his pot farm. I didn't see any seasons past that point, and I can't even remember when was the last season I actually watched. But then just seeing everything that they've been doing, where they've just been on Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad, Trump bad, it just got so fucking tiring.
That actually reminds me of like my personal like number one disqualifier for whether I take someone's opinion on politics seriously. If you can't articulate anything more complicated than Orange Man bad, then I have no reason to listen to anything you say.
One of my favorite episodes of South Park that I watched was crap. I was just thinking about it. Now I fucking lost it. Shit. What was the fucking episode of South Park that I was just thinking about that I thought was super hilarious?
What was the thing that was super hilarious that you were thinking about?
That's what I'm trying to remember now. Fuck, I lost my train of thought listening to you guys. Shit.
You can't remember anything about it.
I had it.
Wow.
I literally just had it in my fucking brain.
It's going to come to you at some random point during the show.
Because we were talking about. Oh no. Okay. The episode where they formed the Christian rock band.
Oh yeah.
And Token's like, oh hey, there was a bass guitar in my basement. And Token's like, all right.
Yeah, it's that like, whole entire thing where Cartman is going up to like Butters and in Token's house. He's just like, Token, I need you to get the bass guitar out of your parents' attic or basement. It's like, we don't have a bass guitar in our basement. It's like, Tolkien, you're black. You got a bass guitar in your basement.
Then it's like
he goes like, yeah, you were right. There was a bass guitar in our basement. It's like, okay, I need you to play these keys. Like, I don't know how to play bass. Tolkien, you're black. Play the bass. And then he's just like,
oh god damn it.
God damn it.
Where they're just taking love songs and replacing them with Jason's with like Jesus and God and all that. And then it turns out that the Christian music industry, their record labels are frankincense, gold, and myrrh.
Yeah, and they don't give out like the platinum records and everything that Cartman was trying to get the whole entire time. And then and then Tolkien just beats the shit out of him. And then it ends with Butters just looking there confused. He farts on Cartman. He's like, fuck you, Eric.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a really, I don't know, that was a funny episode. That sticks with me. So anyways, I actually shared this article with y'all earlier this week because I was want to mention because it was one of those things where like I saw it, so now you all have to as well. And I'm not going to pull it up on here. I'm just going to read it from the B2, I think that's how you pronounce it, the B2 Advocate. Polyamory, just the easiest way to find a reliable Dungeons and Dragons group.
No, it's not.
No, what? No.
Okay, so
because you would have to select for membership by whether or not they play, and that in and of itself means that you would just never have a polyamorous group to start with.
So let me read this article here. A woman who has struggled to find a reliable Dungeons and Dragons group has finally found an answer to her woes by using an unconventional method to court some reliable players, it's reported. Tabitha Ann Halling, 28, tells the Advocate that not only had she struggled to find a dungeon master who was willing to invest hours and hours of storyline research and planning, but also a small group of people who would commit to a once-a-week session. Having tried and failed to start a D&D group multiple times, Tabitha had been almost ready to give up on her dreams of being a tiefling sorcerer, of course, when she stumbled upon a very enthusiastic group of players at her local gaming bar, who were more than happy for her to join the hold, but at a price. Oh shit, that kind of took a dark turn there. Wasn't expecting. Okay, let's see. Apparently, the easiest way to find a reliable D&D group is to join a polycule, says Tabitha with a laugh. They sure are into their gaming. There's a direct overlap between polyamory, role-playing games, and kink, it seems. When asked if she was actually interested in the poly life, Tabitha just shrugs. No, but I really want to play D&D. And then ends with more to come. Okay, so I thought this was going to be someone like being more like advocating for polyamory, but this literally just feels like that she got kind of like duped into joining a polycule just so she could play D&D.
That's what it sounds like.
Well, one of the thoughts that I had with this one, though, is that you mentioned the whole like tiefling sorcerer thing. It's like, oh, of course. But like the actual trope with tieflings is warlocks, not sorcerers.
Yeah, I actually do have a tiefling sorcerer character, but I play him as like lawful evil. Yeah.
Lawful alignment does actually make sense for tieflings, although what depending on the specific character backstory, you can how you set up the backstory will give you an excuse for doing other alignments, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, I kind of went over his backstory in when I had did my video where I did it went over Jack the Lost War Scholar's a tiefling video in which he kind of talks about like how like tieflings should be because the idea it's like tieflings are just basically queer disasters in most cases.
Hmm.
But for him, and I tied in the because when I picked him for being a sorcerer, I picked the draconic bloodline, a sorcerer background for him for how he got his
Mhm.
powers. So so raised by a single mom in a village. Of course, of course human mom because of the relation she had with a red dragon that came down in human form. He gave birth to a tiefling with a draconic bloodline. So, the way I fund it is if you pick a tiefling with a draconic bloodline for the background sorcerer, the tiefling should be the same color as the dragon.
Sure.
So red dragon, red skin tiefling. If it was a blue dragon, blue skin tiefling. That's the only way I would allow like a color change like that.
Hmm.
And so,
Okay.
so of course, typical bullied because he's different, comes across this weird cult out in the woods somewhere, and they weren't a dangerous cult. They just believed it differently from everyone else, and they kept to themselves. He actually, the leader of the cult was like, "Hey, there's power in you. Let me teach you how to harness it." And so over the years, my tiefling sorcerer learned how to harness his magic, which I ended up picking a lot of fire-based spells mostly because red dragon, duh.
Yeah.
And he learns how to harness powers. Well, one day, the village decides we don't know. We're worried about this cult that's keeping to themselves, and they attack the cult and basically
Hmm.
wipe them all out. Well, when the my character goes to his master, basically, the master with his dying words tells him about this that there's knowledge out there greater than what he has, and hands him a paper that kind of gives him like the little first clue. And so the reason that he's my character's lawful evil is because he wants to get knowledge of the arcane by any means necessary. And he'll use people to further that his own goals and his further knowledge if he has to.
So
Okay.
you built up a scenario where your character has reason to more or less treat other people as disposable because of the fact that he feels like that is how his I guess you could say extended family or whatever were treated in the past. So he's just visiting that on others. Hmm.
It basically, yeah. I actually never thought of it that way, but that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why he's lawful. Like he's not going out around breaking the law, but yeah, he treats others as expendable, which I get kind of goes more towards that evil route because it's like it's all to further his own goals and his own advances.
Right, well, this fits with what I was saying about how like writing a character backstory informs their alignment. It's like that's a character who, has reason to not be a good person because that's just how things worked out when he was growing up.
It kind of goes into the weird weeds with like just because you're lawful evil, you're not necessarily like a bad guy necessarily. Like yes, he is a dick for using people to further his own means and not treating them the way they deserve to be treated. But he's not like he's not like the big bad guy you would fight like at the end of a boss campaign. It's just his own morals and beliefs put him on that alignment scale.
He's the person that's like an optional side mini boss where if avoid talking to him, you won't have to have any reason to. But if you go to his village and try to figure out why people are unhappy there, you'll find
Yeah,
things.
he's kind of like the visual interpretation of when how people say the world doesn't need saving, it needs to be fixed.
Hmm.
Which honestly, with the way the world is, I'm more inclined of the world need to be fixed more than need to be saved these days. So I kind of find myself. I feel like I'm personally on that lawful evil alignment these days.
Hey, uh, uh, actually, there's a different angle for that one. Is because like if you look at it from a paladin perspective, you're like, yes, the world is going to be saved and going to be fixed, but not today. because
That's
like
an interesting point.
anyone who's read the apocalypse knows how the world is going to end. It's just that that's not going to be today, probably.
Mm. Yeah, so that I just thought that was an article I just happened to come across. It showed up in my news feed one day. I'm like, well, I saw it, so now everyone else needs to see this too. Was that weird? Because that's kind of a thing that's like if you go to Reddit, one of the things that the Nerd Cognito guys share about was this thing started popping up about the rules for hugs and kisses in your D&D games, where instead of rolling dice, it depends on how well you hug or kiss the player, the game master at the table.
This is one of those things where it's
Okay.
like, are there people who would actually have fun doing it that way? Yes.
But
I suspect that that would be a drastic minority, and that the majority of people would either just not like it or find some way to break the system and make it a miserable experience for the other people at the table.
well, there literally is a game system out there called Lewd Dungeon Adventures, where the entire concept is you play with like partners or lovers, and one of the ways you can accomplish tasks and skills is by having sex or
Y-
any other
That,
forms of sexual means. It's
that,
literally
that
written in the rules.
that's one of those things where it's like, my understanding of this, because it's not one of those things I actually like tried to learn about. It's just one of those things just kind of like popped up over the years, is that horny versions of D&D have existed at least since the 80s, probably since like the original like era, because of the fact
What
that
was it? The Book of Araka for like 3.0, 3.5. That's notoriously known.
I was thinking older than that, but I mean that's an example, I guess.
Like what? The naked lady on the cover of the Eldritch and Wizardry book cover.
Well, it's one of those things that had someone point out to me, is that when you look at old school pulp fantasy, pulp sci-fi, you have things like heavy metal, which is actually rather old. And it is kind of like a continuation of the like really like old school pulp fiction stuff, where it bad guys doing bad guy things will be things that you're like, okay, that is, a bad guy from a real world perspective. Whether he's a bad guy from an in-universe fictional perspective. Why are we drawing a distinction again? Yeah.
Yeah, like now I actually did end up buying like the main core rules for the Lewd Dungeon Adventures because at the time I came across it, I'm like, oh, the girlfriend I was saying at the time, like I would love to run this for her, and this
Mm,
would be like a fun little like couples night thing that we get to like get our sex on and just
mm,
have a creative adventure while doing it kind of thing.
mm,
But of course, it's like I just never got around to it. But they've now made all these different adventures to go with that game now. Like there's
mm.
literally one called the Shattered Dildo is one of the adventures for that game system.
Well, that's what I was getting at, though. It's like the basic concept is something that's actually rather old. It's just that it's one of those things that never became mainstream for the obvious reason, because of the whole like moral grandstanding and posturing. It's like selling a TTRPG book on the open market that's R-rated or worse. You're
Kings and
probably
Cantrips.
Yes, it's like, yes, do they exist? But the mainstream is going to pearl clutch anytime they're mentioned, because the big name people have corporate overlords who don't want it to be associated with it. And it's the corporate overlords who are actually running the things.
Yeah. Now this is an actual thing, Roger. If you haven't came across this, there is a actual 5e supplement that someone made that Wizards of the Coast has actually pushed themselves called Kings and Cantrips. And it's all about it's got classes and spells and adventures based around, of course, kinks. And there's
It starts.
actually
Oh, sorry. You can go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I saw that they're making an advanced Kinks and Cantrips book now
My
as well.
understanding of kinks and cantrips is that it's actually barely even PG rated, because of the fact that it means kink in a in the sense of something that makes your character different rather than, well, something that would be in an R-rated movie.
Yeah, but it really does lead into a lot of like the King stuff. Although I will admit, when I read through it, some of the subclasses I didn't think were that bad. Like some of the barbarian ones actually caught my interest because I think
Well,
there was
like,
like a Pact of the Blood barbarian or something like that was one that I
well,
remember seeing.
it's like I noted when I did that review of the PETA subclasses that they published for whatever stupid reason, is that did the people who wrote them actually have good ideas? Yes. Would I, shall we say, carefully modify the ideas if I actually use them? Also, yes. Because like the as written, it's like it exists. It's just not great, but you could make it into something better. Because like what the observations I made is that the people who wrote the character class variants for the people for the ethical treatment of animals things were apparently writing them under the assumption that you were going to be fighting against people who were animal abusers, and that several of the class features are things that only make sense if you're looking for wounded or abused animals and with the intention of stealing them from whoever has them in their possession.
I remember I can't find it on Drive Through RPG anymore, so I don't know if it's even still up about that. But there was literally an RPG book that was made that was literally all about the Vor King.
Does this surprise me? No.
And then there was a Valentine's Day supplement they made for towards like if it's just like yourself or you just want to play with your partner. But I can't find it anymore to show it off to see if it's still there. So I would like to think maybe Drive Through took it down or something. Who knows?
With some of those things, it's not that it got taken down; it's that it wasn't good, and whoever had it up just quit having it up.
Yeah, I can't even. I tried to because I remember I think it was called Vor, and I can't even find it anymore when I type it in on Google.
I mean, I vaguely have this idea in my head that I've heard that name used for an RPG at some point, but that's as far as it goes.
It was it was very much they had furry people on the front, and it had like the big old like the swelling of the bellies and all that.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Part of me has this itch in my brain telling me that Fatal used to have spin-offs, but the spin-offs weren't as good as the original Fatal.
So okay, here's the funny thing. There was this running joke that they started in the Burrows of Borderlands Discord server was some guy took a clip from my stream and put a copy and just they photoshopped an image of the Fatal cover onto it and made it seem like I was talking about Fatal just for a laugh. But now it's such a funny running joke. I actually found and downloaded the PDF of the Fatal game, and I'm threatening to run it for them at some point now because they keep keep talking about now. I'm apparently such a big Fatal fan.
See, the thing with Fatal is that some of the stuff in it is actually just a solid, well-designed RPG. Then there's a whole bunch of other stuff where it's just like, why did you even bother writing this? It's like, because like it just like doesn't really even have a practical use. Or at least that's my understanding of it. I never actually read the Fatal rulebook.
All right, so I guess we'll move on from talking about TTRPGs and let's talk about video games for a little bit because we were talking about it in the back room before we got on. I figured we talk about it here on the show as the Game Awards just happened recently. And it was met with basically a lot of mixed reviews. Claire Obscure ended up stealing with the record of 9 different awards, which I think. So yeah, so that's pretty crazy because like I heard about.
No, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Like again, I'm not a big time video gamer. I play Skyrim on my Xbox 360. That's the most of it. But I still keep up with like everyone else who plays video games and watching them play and all that. So I know a little bit here and there about like what kind of goes on.
Yeah, like I said, that was the thing that was talked about in the back room was the fact that not only with the Claire Obscura Expedition 33 winning game of the year and like the corporate standings of video game awards, but like how I mentioned is that it sets a precedent to the entire video game industry, especially towards like the triple A studios, especially looking at you, Ubisoft, because you fumbled the ball when it came to this one. That people are getting sick and tired of the triple A slop where you are spending hundreds of millions of dollars on these games that people do not enjoy playing because you all don't enjoy what it is that you're making, while this little team of 32 people and one dog makes a dream game for roughly around $10 million in total, selling over 5 million copies worldwide that we know of, and it being an absolute juggernaut when it comes to the whole entire video game industry, showing that people are more obsessed with playing the indie games, the double A titles and everything, than any more triple A slop. And
Well,
that is why, unless like these studios like actually change course, it'll also show that like these big studios that have been around for years, decades at this point, are just going to absolutely collapse.
well, it's like I was saying about Hollywood in the pre-stream, is that these big AAA studios are tied to other corporate entities, and well, like a good example is like what you said about how they chose the guy to write the music for Claire Obscure. They just found someone on Spotify who did original music that was good. That was it. That was how they
Exactly.
chose the guy. It's like they didn't go to some corpo studio and say like, we need someone who could do this, and then have the corpo studio charge them $20 million for it.
We can at least, despite what you think about who won, who didn't, let's all be thankful that Ghost of Yotai walked away with nothing.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
they knew that they would get memed to hell and back if they gave Ghost of Yotei a single award.
And they're still
Because
getting memed to hell and back currently because they won nothing.
yeah, well, like that
Mhm.
was it. That was a game. Was just like you're making a sequel to a game that people actually liked, except that all of the people who made the first game good are gone.
Yeah, pretty much all they were doing was just going purely off quote unquote brand recognition. And that is one big flaw. Cause like some of the trailers and everything, let's like steer away from like the rewards and everything. The only few games that I hear that people are honestly excited about, which I have no interest in right now because it's only been just a cinematic trailer, was a new Star Wars game that is supposed to be a spiritual successor to Knights of the Old Republic, because the people working on it were the people that worked on Knights of the Old Republic, including the lead director Casey Hudson.
Now, does it
Well,
take place after the events of the first game or the second game go? Because if I recall, the second game was when the Jedi were starting to get hunted down.
That's the thing, though. All we have is just a very brief cinematic trailer, and the way I see it is that all this is really going to do is it's more of just a concept. They're waiting to see what the fan base actually feels about it before they even decide to go forward with actually making a game.
well, this is one of those things where I think back to the whole like Fallout New Vegas thing. It's like, while it's a 3D game, the people who were like the actual developers were people who worked on the first and second Fallout games. Like that was where the lead devs came from. It's like they were pre-Bethesda Fallout developers, so they knew Fallout inside and out. And Bethesda licensed them to do it because of the fact that Bethesda's attempts at doing Fallout were not as well received as the originals. And like that's actually the other thing with Fallout is like Bethesda went full corpo with Fallout. Like, did they try to make a product people would like? Yes. Do I think Fallout 76 is something that there are, genuinely people who actually enjoy it? Yes. A lot of people hate it because it doesn't fit with the way that the original Fallout games were, though, because like it's a divergence from the source material. It's not just a logical continuation. Anyway, but like with this other thing though, it's like that's kind of the same thing. It's just like you're just taking the people who made something good and having them do something else that's good.
Yeah, and then all the Dispatch fans are currently upset that they didn't want they were okay with not winning. I think it was like best narrative game, but they felt like they should have won Player's Choice award for the year. When it was instead it was taken by a gotcha game.
Which, like I said, that one actually very much surprised me. But it's also kind of like what Mar Hockman said in the pre-stream. The only reason why it won is because more than likely people just spammed to vote it, because if they would have won it, then they would have gotten free stuff in their gotcha game.
Yeah, well, that's what I said too. So
yeah. Oh, yeah. And like another thing that was announced, we also got a look at what that whole statue thing that Jeff Keighley was teasing about for the last few weeks, and it was for the announcement of a new Divinity game that's being made by Larian Studios, and they're claiming that it's actually going to be bigger than Baldur's Gate 3. And people who play Baldur's Gate 3, myself included, that's a big game.
I think another interesting one that I think will really pick up in popularity was the Force 3 reveal.
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
And it looks like it's like a guy, like he's coming from the future and he ends up in the past or in some weird it made me when I was watching the trailer for it made me feel like I was watching like a video game version of that Mist movie. That Stephen King movie where it's like the monsters are in the mist and they're like taking people and all that. That's the kind of vibe that game was giving off for me.
Interesting. Yes.
We also got announcements for not one, but two new Tomb Raider games.
Oh, I did not see that one.
Well, what I heard about that is that people looked at those and are like, oh, yes, the enshittified version of Tomb Raider. Never mind.
Okay. All right. Basically, what it is that it's not revolving around the remake Lara Croft. We're going back to original Lara Croft, where one of the games that's coming out is going to be coming out next year, and it's going to be a quote-unquote remake of the original game, but they kept it to where she's in the tank top, she's got the short shorts on and everything, and she actually looks genuinely hot.
I'll believe that when I see the launched.
It's definitely better. She's better than the previous, but not as good as the original.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing, though, is that's the sad thing about it. Whenever it comes to like you're going away from like a stylistic kind of choice and everything, and going for the more realistic choice of like art style and everything, is that you're going to lose like some of the appeals that came from like what the artistic choice style was, because they didn't have like the technology and everything to make stuff look quote unquote realistic.
I need to hold on because I remember I'm commenting on a picture, because this was the image that someone shared. I guess this is from the newest Tomb Raider game.
Okay, that one is actually going to be coming from the one that's going to be coming out in 2027. If you look, and that one, yeah, that's the one that people have a little bit having an issue with. But if you look at the remake is Legacy of Atlantis. If you go and look at that one, she actually looks way better in that one.
I'll have to find the other one then, see, because I thought she looked like a typical like mid leftist, and someone come in like, well, it's a lot better compared to like Dustborn and Concord, which true, but still.
What Legacy of Atlantis? Didn't one of the older Tomb Raider games have a plot where you had to literally fight an Atlantean demigod
Well,
or
like I said,
something?
this is supposed to be like a quote remake of the original game.
The first one, huh?
Yeah, the very first one.
There is a. It's actually interesting because I'm hoping the link is still out there because someone. It was actually one of the video game like creative directors created his own Tomb Raider TTRPG
Hmm.
that I remember it was down for a while, but then it came back up. And it's basically I haven't read all the way through it, but I need to run it at some point probably. Probably just what I'll do on Rustic Rollers is I'll run this Tomb Raider RPG for y'all to see how it is. And I think it's got a lot of I think it's got some kind of like modern D20 stuff vibes to it, but from what I heard, it's not bad. And again, it was created by someone who actually was in charge of part of the creation of the original Tomb Raider games.
Hmm.
Because I remember sharing about it when Evil Hat was trying to do their Tomb Raider game, which was just which was not even raiding tombs, but returning stuff to tombs for some reason, and they scrapped that like after a year, I think, of working on it.
Let me try to find it because like it has like a list of the. Here we go. This should have every single one. Okay, here we go. Just because it's also video game related, and I know that you would probably want to talk about that the D&D game that was also announced as well.
Oh, that's right. I knew I was missing something. Yeah.
But one other thing that they showed off was we got a teaser for the new Street Fighter movie.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing something about that.
That was something that some people were really hyped about because they're like, wait a second, how did they get all of those actors to agree to do this together?
And that's one thing I was going to bring up is that I would here I'm sharing my screen and it has like who all is playing who. I wish we could see our faces and everything.
Oh, wait, but before we get into that, I wanted to like jump back to like the Warlock thing because I was just looking at my email and realized that D&D Beyond sent me a advertisement for the Warlock game.
No, really?
That's funny.
The description in this thing that they sent me a link to is in Warlock, you take on the role of Katri, a veteran warrior, in a new third-person action adventure set in a dark fantasy open world inspired by Dungeons and Dragons. Make a pact to wield forbidden magic to overcome a wide range of challenges. In exploration, every spell is a key that unlocks mysteries in a beautiful yet unsettling world. When facing enemies, magic and melee combine for a combat experience that is both tactical and visceral. This really sounds like it's a D&D flavored version of Zelda. It really does.
I can kind of see that. Yeah.
You know what would make for a really good D&D game but you would just have to kind of tweak a little bit is take Dynasty Warriors, but then involve the character creation from D&D so you can create your own party, and then you're just going around slaughtering slaughtering the enemies on the battlefield with all your different spells and attacks and stuff.
That's an interesting way to go about it.
Kind of like what they did with the Legends of Hyrule, which was basically Legend of Zelda, but with the Dynasty Warriors gameplay.
Yeah.
Hyrule Warriors. That's what you're thinking about. Hyrule Warriors was actually
Hyrule Warriors. Thank you.
Hyrule Warriors was a legitimately good game. It's like, yes, it did things with the Legend of Zelda characters and theme and stuff that has very, very interesting questions about the setting if you take everything in Hyrule Warriors seriously. But at the same time, the basic thing with Hyrule Warriors is just like having fun with the setting and characters. It's like you take characters that are minor side characters and like, okay, how are you going to build this character into a playable character that is able to go and actually like win the game? Like you remember Marin from not Wind Waker, but Link's Awakening? They have her as a playable character.
Yeah.
Well, like her big attack though is actually just summoning the Windfish and having the Windfish smash the enemy for her.
Okay.
Anyways, who is in this Street Fighter movie?
All right. See, the reason I'm bringing this up is because we can't play the trailer because it's got copyrighted music in it. But if you get a chance to just take a look, because it looks all campy as hell, and I actually enjoy it.
Well,
But
Like, is it trying to recapture like that '80s like fighting kind of style?
more 90s than anything.
Mm.
But
See,
but like I
When I
said,
think campy, I usually think '80s. So, but that's me.
well, you also got to realize how long ago the 80s was or the 90s was too in comparison.
well, like the first,
Don't make me feel older than I already am.
like the Street Fighter
I
movie.
just turned 33.
The Street Fighter movie with Raul Julia had a lot of stuff in it that was genuinely good. It's just that as a movie, it was kind of schlock.
Yeah.
And thus the general audience wasn't going to like it.
But the reason I'm bringing up this is because there are some interesting casting choices, but to the actual critically online people, there's one person in here that they are bashing to no end, and we'll eventually.
I'm just thinking, the day that Lord Bison graced your village was the greatest day of your life, but for me, it was Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll just wait until you see who they got for invite.
I bet you they have to make some callbacks to the old Street Fighter movie, probably.
Anyway,
I bet you they'll do it.
Let's take a look at who we got here. This is Andrew Koji playing Ryu, and honestly, if they're going for a more of like the Street Fighter 2 look, I can see this because, or even Street Fighter 3, because 4 onward, they got way too muscular and everything to where how in the world can you even operate as a martial artist at that point?
I was
Yeah.
about to say, I think he looks too skinny to play Ryu.
But like in the original Street Fighter game, a lot of Ryu's bulk was actually just the fact that he wore loose fitting clothes. Because like they didn't have him do like the ripped off thing in some of his outfits, if I'm right. Like,
Yeah. Like, I have no problem with this. Here we've got Noah, however you pronounce his name.
Centino.
I would pronounce it Centennial.
Or Centenio.
And he's playing.
I don't know. Yeah.
And he's playing Ken. And it looks like they're trying to do like a mix up of like Street Fighter 2 Ken, but with like Street Fighter 5 Ken, because that's the kind of hairstyle Ken had in Street Fighter 5.
Taking inspiration from multiple iterations sounds like a good idea for the games.
Yeah.
For the movie, because like you don't want to like try to imitate a specific game too hard.
Well, one that they're not really imitating like the look of is Chun-Li being played by
Kalina Young or something
Young,
like that. Yeah.
Because a lot of people talk about she too flat and she no thick.
To be honest, this is one of those things where I look at this and I'm like, do you remember what the animated movie made Chun-Li look like?
I think I of course I remember that was a great scene or great character, especially the shower scene. if you watch the unrated
Well,
version.
also is what happens after the shower scene was like legitimately one of the best parts of the movie. Is like
the fight between her and Vega in that movie was fantastic.
Like that was incredibly well choreographed, and a 1v1 fight where she technically wins, but then like passes out because of her injuries or what have you. It's like, yeah, that was cool.
But like I said, people complaining because for one, boobs aren't all that big, and she doesn't have the insane thickness of like Street Fighter 4 onward, which again, I think they're going more for like aesthetically wise, going for more like the Street Fighter 2 look, which if you go back to how her sprite look in that one, the thighs weren't that thick.
Well, that was what I was getting at with comparing it to that movie, though, is that in that movie she had a very, shall we say, normal person figure.
Yeah,
it didn't have the like oddly exaggerated proportions.
All right, we should keep going because I know that there's one topic we need to talk about. Cody Rhodes as Guile.
Now, why does that name sound familiar? Why does Cody Rhodes sound familiar?
WWE wrestler.
Okay, I was about to say because I felt like they're doing like a lot of Asian casting, which because it was a Japanese fighting game. But I know you had like a few like other country characters, and I think Guile was Guile American.
Yeah,
in the game,
full blown American.
Yep. And then
but trust me, this isn't going to be the last WWE superstar that you'll see on
of
this
course
list.
not. Yep. Who else we
Uh,
got?
We got Olivier Peck as Vega, which that's
No. L Orville Peck.
Peck Orville
L
Peck.
is like his like first initial. It's like he's not using his first name.
But yeah, that's Vega.
Okay.
Granted, he's wearing a whole lot more clothes than what Vega usually
Oh, I thought that was a
wears.
girl.
Oh no,
Okay,
50 Cent as Balrog.
I remember I saw like a tiny bit of the trailer. I'm like, was that 50 Cent? Oh my god!
Nobody knew that was 50 Cent in the trailer.
I'm just now picturing there's that rock version, there's that rock AI song of the Many Men song, and I imagine him like as his character walking out now to that song.
they're basically just going to like make the entire character CGI and have him like mocap it or something.
Jason Momoa as
Okay,
Blanca.
this is perfect. This just feels right. Jason Momoa as Blanca.
I would
works.
lose the beard and mustache if you want to go for the more real Blanca look. But other than that, yeah, this is really good casting right here.
Yeah, I can see that.
Vidya Yamal.
That's the guy that
As
can stretch like all his body, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Dulcim is the guy who can punch you from like 20 feet away.
I remember thinking about it. There's that College Humor skit where it's like he's able to stretch himself, but he can't control it back, and it just ends with him like making his dick like stretch out like super long.
But that's Dulcim. Olivia Richard as Zangief. But like,
This
that's
just looks wrong
Zangief.
to me because of the fact that he's dressed like a bougie Frenchman. Like, come on now.
What isn't he Russian or something? The Street Fighter character.
He's the
Yes.
Russian guy who thinks bear wrestling is fun.
Which, that's Zangief. But again, wearing more clothes than what Zangief wears.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, usually he's very much more exposed.
I have seen games where Zangief did actually wear a shirt. It's just that it doesn't look like this.
Yeah. Haruki Gota as E Honda.
I mean,
Yeah,
that looks like the Honda. It's just it's somewhat less muscular than I would expect.
The problem is he needs the face paint.
And the bandana, because I think he wore a bandana too, if I recall.
No, he doesn't wear a bandana.
Okay, it's something wrapped around his forehead, but it's not actually.
Yeah. Well, if you wrap it around
Okay.
your forehead, it's still some form of a bandana.
Well, I think it's like a.
Oh no,
robe.
I'm wrong.
Oh,
Yeah, it's the
okay.
face paint. He doesn't have a bandana.
Okay, here's a M Bison, and this is one I had the biggest problem with, not the one that the people online have a problem with.
David. Why does that name sound
Desmulchin.
familiar?
David
David-
Desmulchin, I think is the.
David.
It's just like this name doesn't mean anything to me. I have no idea who that guy is.
Nope. He's in a lot of different like Netflix and television shows. I recognize the face. I've seen him in stuff. Hold on, I'm about
I don't
to-
watch Netflix all that often.
Let's see.
the
He was in he was in the Suicide Squad movie. He was
Yeah,
in the
he was
Dark
a polka dot
Knights.
man.
He was in Ant-Man. He was in the new Dexter Resurrection series. He was apparently in Dune. Oppenheimer, Blade Runner 2049. Oh, he's
You know
in the
what
One
else?
Piece movie.
I was about ready to bring up. He's going to be in One Piece season 2 as Mr. 3, so that's what's throwing me very.
You
off,
know
'cause
what? Mr. 3 and M. Bison, I can see a significant similarity between those. two
He's
characters.
done a lot of superhero stuff. He was in Ant-Man Wasp, Batman the Long Halloween, Batman the Doom That Came to Gotham. He was
in a couple episodes of the Flash TV show.
I guess he's one of those people who tends to be like a like secondary or side character or something.
probably, yeah. He's done quite a little bit of work. He was in the Weird Al movie that the guy who played Harry Potter was in.
Yeah.
Oh, he was apparently in. I'll have to watch this again. He was apparently in the Angry Video Game Nerd movie.
But basically what I'm just getting at is that M. Bison has to have like some kind of aura to him. I don't get that from David here.
Yeah, I'm not really feeling it either, honestly.
Well, like a single static image, yeah. hard to convey that kind of gravitas you got out of the first Street Fighter movie from M. Bison, because a lot of the gravitas doesn't come across in like simple stills of the movie. It's like
Okay,
how he acts.
we're getting up to our second WWE star, Roman Reigns as Akuma.
Wouldn't this be number 3? I don't know. I maybe have lost count. Anyway, honestly, I like this casting, because like Roman Reigns was one of those guys who he could act like a lunatic quite well. So,
I'm sorry. Every time I think of Kuma now, I just think of that one short where it's like he's been gooning in the cave for so long and edging himself, and then Chun-Li just walks in and he explodes because he can no longer control after seeing her thighs.
Oh wow.
I'll have to find that clip and
Okay.
share it again. So it's
Okay.
no, I don't need that.
Okay, now we're getting up to the one that the people online are having an issue with, and that's Andrew Schultz as Dan Hibiki.
okay. This is an interesting choice of an actor.
Why
I
are
didn't
they
even
putting
think.
Dan Hibiki in the movie?
Well, that's because Dan Hibiki is a very popular character.
Yes,
Despite how-
yes, whatever.
But like I said, people have the biggest issue is because of it being Andrew Schultz.
Because he's not one way or the other. He's very much, he stands his own ground in his own right. So that,
Whatever.
yeah.
he's very much controversial to, well, not controversial to probably us, but to other people.
I would call it
Yeah, that's it.
non-controversial. It's like I people make a big deal about it for reasons that most people don't have a reason to care about.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, this is the one that a lot of people were just losing their fucking minds over, was because of him being in this movie. And
Well, I mean, it's the same thing that we've been-
Eric
go ahead.
Andre as like the announcer, which I'm okay with that.
It's like, well, I mean, just it's the same thing that we've told people about when it comes to like TVs and movies. If you don't like it, don't pay to watch it.
Didn't they also have? Oh yeah, there's Cammy. Okay, I was
Yeah.
going to say they had Cammy, and I think it was the CIA chick in there too.
Julie.
Oh no, okay, that's Julie. I was thinking that they had
And
well, I mean, these are basically just because like I don't recognize this actor, but did they look the part? Sure, I guess.
I'm not even 100% sure who Joe is supposed to be.
Video game adaptations are always hit and miss, no matter how hard you try to work on it.
Wait, so scroll back up to the Cammy one, because kind of skip
Okay.
past that one. It's like that actually is pretty faithful to the way she looks in several of the games.
Yeah, because this is supposed to be like her time when she was still like
M.
somebody
Bison
who was under the control of M. Bison.
as one of his, I think, called them dolls. Because
Yeah,
like
the dolls.
Mel Yarnson as Cammy, she looks the part. But that's all I can say about that. Is that like this looks like the way she looks in the games, more or less.
Yeah. And of course, this is another person who was working for Bison.
Yeah, Julie, another one of the dolls. Raina Vallandigham. That's an interesting name because it feels like a fusion of British and Indian, and makes me think that she's a mixed ancestry, which honestly it fits with the character of Julie. So whatever.
But yeah, like I said, I just wanted to go over the casting that they have for Street Fighter, especially since one person is somebody that the left is absolutely fuming at the mouth over. It's like, how dare you give that person a role in this movie?
And I'm like, why do I care what you have to say?
Exactly.
It's that meme. Your jeers mean nothing to me. I've seen what makes you cheer.
Or like, your boos mean nothing to me. I've seen what makes you cheer.
Makes you cheer. Yep. And now we'll kind of finish off with the topic that centers around the title for what really needs to be discussed. Is that Candace Owens has just lost her fucking mind and has lost the fucking plot.
For real.
It has gone.
Wait. How many times has this been so far? It's just like when
Way too many at this point. That's the sad thing about it, is the fact that this woman is like has just gone so off the rocker that she is not only is she making everything that the Turning Point USA has been fighting for, she is actively ruining trying to ruin Charlie Kirk's legacy, and she's as a whole of the way she's going about all this is making the entirety of the right absolutely insane, to where if this keeps on going, they're going to lose the midterms next year.
See, here's the thing with Candace Owens. It's like my impression of Candace Owens has always been that she's a grifter who has no morals, no anything other than the desire to get people to hand her money. That's the only thing she cares about in life. And it's lie, cheat, and steal. She'll do anything.
Because, like, let me see if I can't pull that up. But
she's
ahead.
not even
Because,
principled enough
yeah,
to
if
think
you want to
about
pull up,
lying
go
about
ahead,
it.
because
She doesn't even stick to one side. She'll lie for whichever side she thinks will give her money.
so here's my thing with Candace Owens. I came across her. I think she was with PragerU, or maybe she was. I forget who she was with first. It was either PragerU or TPUSA at the time when Trump was first running for office. And I agree with a lot of the stuff she was saying. She was fine when she was with Turning Point USA. She was fine with PragerU. When she got to Daily Wire, though, something happened there that just fucked her brain over completely. Something about her being with Daily Wire completely just messed her up mentally. I think I want to believe.
This is one of the things. It's like I just don't think that she's being genuine enough with what she says to actually even like characterize it as her losing her mind, because it's like she's just saying things she thinks will get her money.
There's no other way to describe it except that she's losing her mind. Like for me, when she was such good friends with Kanye West, she was all for him. And then when when Kanye West, when everyone started really going after Kanye West for everything, she just backed off. She didn't try to defend him or anything. That was what really made me start to question her. Was when she didn't stand her ground of defending Kanye West.
Well, that's like what I was saying, though. It's like I don't really think that she was a genuine friend to Kanye West. I think she was just a groupie, more or less.
Okay, I found it, because like the thing that really sparked it off for me was this absolute blown up moment that Tim Pool had.
Yeah, I was about to say, I didn't know if you were going to bring that up, but yeah, let's bring that, because I listen to Timcast often, so let's share that. And hold up, I gotta. There we go.
Don't listen to him often.
And like, this is one of the few moments that you ever see Tim just absolutely lose it, because he's usually pretty calm when it comes to stuff. Like, even with the people that he has on there occasionally that are completely disingenuous and everything, and like completely lying through their teeth about what it is that they're talking about, he's still pretty calm and collected about it. This, like I said, this is one of the very few moments that he just absolutely loses it. And there are some pretty colorful language, so heads up on that.
I mean, it's
Candace Owens is a fucking evil scumbag. She is a degenerate cunt. She is burning everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you fucking told me? She has no security. She doesn't fucking deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit. She's making everyone else suffer. And all of these fucking conservatives out there that send me these fucking messages have no fucking balls to call her out. More and more people have started doing it. They send me these fucking messages. Good for you, Tim. Good for you, Tim. I wasn't the first person to do it. I'm not going to take credit for that. But don't fucking DM me like I did something for you as you cower, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which he's doing to me right fucking now.
Yeah, that was the...
I'm fucking done with these people.
And for context, the reason going on about the security is because he also just had to deal with, I think last week during our show when we were just when we were going over our session 0, is the fact that his house and like whole entire company was fired upon by a bunch of fucking lunatics.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like had this itch in my head. It's like, wait a second, I remember seeing something online about how someone shot at him.
And now they're trying to spin it to where it's an old story about like his brother was the one shooting at the place or something.
Yeah.
Now, which is weird.
He has a whole another tirade about that, but this is the main primary one that really caught my attention with it all.
Well,
security just
again, though,
down
that's
below.
it's like what he said there kind of jives with what I was saying about how I don't think Candace Owens has any real principles. She's just grifting to get money, but her grift is accusing people of murder.
Exactly.
Which we already know who the murderer is. He's currently locked up, and they just now started trial. I am more pissed off about the fact that they have not sentenced this guy to like the freaking death penalty yet, more than I am about Candace Owens going on about her whole conspiracy tirade. The fact that we are still allowing this guy to fucking live on my taxpayer dollars pisses me off to no end.
I'm hoping that he does end up getting the death penalty. It's just that I'm not expecting it to be quick because the modern judicial system is designed by people who want to scam the taxpayer out of tax dollars to house criminals.
Yeah, I keep saying, pray for his soul as you hang him fucking high from the rooftops.
It's like,
Yeah,
if you were falsely accused, well, this is your chance to repent before God, because we're going to kill you. And if we kill you and we were wrong, well, if you're in the right, then that means you don't go to hell. So,
like I said, that one thing that just got me was the whole entire thing about Erica Kirk when she actually came up on stage and forgave him for what he did, because it's not up to her to pass judgment onto him. It's supposed to be like the judicial court. But the thing that fucking pisses me off is the fact that we saw actual video, which, let's not forget, they tried to prevent video of inside the courtroom of being shown to everybody, trying to prevent that whole entire thing. But the fact that we saw him and he was just smiling over the whole entire thing. Like, this guy knew exactly what he was doing. He's a piece of shit scumbag that, like you said, needs to be hung from the fucking rafters for every single person in this country needs to see, to show like, hey, this is the shit that you're trying to defend. This is what's going to happen to you if you keep on doing this.
actually, it's Utah. Utah doesn't do hangings. They do
Well,
firing squads.
whatever the death penalty is.
Firing
for-
squad, what the fuck ever.
I'm all for bringing back the electric chair. I keep seeing all the Green Mile clips popping up on my news feeds again. So
Anyway, let's keep going.
yeah.
View.
Oh, yeah, the one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors. Shouldn't give two fucking shits. No one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy, and she doesn't give a shit about her security. Meanwhile, I get bullets fired at my fucking property, and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got fucking strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating up the residents who try to live there. How the fuck am I even supposed to sell this property? And it's all lies, it's all hypocrisy, and it is for the purpose of making money. And she does not live the way other people live. And she claims she liked Charlie, she loved Charlie, and she is burning everything down that he built because she is evil. She is evil. And I'll say it again, this conservative movement is fractured, it's fried, whatever it is. Okay?
Wolves in sheep's
Republicans are on
clothing.
track to lose the midterms.
Do what?
Wolves in sheep's clothing. It's
Yeah,
like
for
that's what's the whole like fracturing thing, is that you have to weed out the people who are faking it. Candace Owens is a faker through and through. She doesn't care about the left or the right. She just wants to line her pocket.
But the problem is that she has cemented herself as somebody who is a big talking point for the right, and all she's doing is just destroying everything. It's like what Tim said about her claiming to be like a friend of Charlie's, how she missed him and everything. The problem was, though, is that she never got invited to any Turning Point USA meetings. She was not invited to attend the funeral or the memorial of Charlie and everything. Yet she's claiming everything to be that me and him were best friends. Shut the
She's
fuck
a lying
up, you
bitch.
I honestly am starting to believe that Tim Pool's theory about Candace Owens being a scorned lover is probably more plausible compared
Well,
to
see,
anything else at this moment.
Candace Owens strikes me as the kind of person who would be enough of a gold digger to try to seduce a man, knowing that he's married and that it would ruin his life, and that if she got told no, she would, yeah, do the whole like vindictive bitch routine where she like tries to ruin him because he told her that he wasn't interested in her.
Yeah, and then it's also okay. For a moment, the Charlie Kirk assassination, when that happened, there was a moment where both most of the right and even some of the left, we came together when as we saw this happen, realized this isn't fucking right. We need to get our shit together, lock the fuck in, and get this country back on track.
The problem is, though, is that now you're having people. I shit you not. There's somebody that I follow who is mutuals with like people that are in our sphere, like Dash and everything. Kada, he's a content creator. He made a whole entire thing about how Expedition 33 deserved to win Game of the Year award. You want to know what some fucking piece of shit said to him? I hope you get Charlie Kirked.
Yeah, that's a new thing now they do. It's like saying Charlie Kirk, but yeah, and then it's like, yeah, because you still have those crazy, insane leftists that were saying that we're all cheering for it, but for some reason, as everything went on, people started going to these whole conspiracy theory rabbit hole, and now it's fractured us, and now we're losing the plot again.
Okay, you want to talk conspiracy theories? Like, why is it that only the like super aggressive anti society leftists are the ones being promoted by the corporate overlords? Why are those the ones the corporate overlords are pushing and not the ones who are, actual sane, reasonable people?
Who knows? It's all probably tied to like government funding. How like if they don't do like if they don't push like certain stuff, then they'll lose their funding. Because I know that's been a big thing that's been discussed for a while. So
no. It's this is corpo bullshit. This isn't a government funding bullshit. Because like
government money funds a lot of these corporations.
Well. Okay. See, that's the thing with the U.S. aid thing. It's like why people were so pissed that Trump shut down U.S. aid is because it was basically like a black market slush money for whatever bullshit people felt like pushing. But like, yes, like our government kickbacks being funneled to these things. But here's the thing: the government isn't controlling where the kickbacks go. That's the whole thing with these kickbacks is that it's taxpayer dollars getting funneled to corpos who are doing corpo things for corpo reasons. And it goes with hand in hand with that whole Hassan Piker thing. Hassan Piker has apparently been blessed as the a favorite golden child of the Twitch CEO himself. And why is Amazon allowing Twitch to be run like this? Because clearly the Amazon people have to know about this because it's gotten to that level. Yet they still have him there as their favored golden boy anyways.
And then he keeps bringing up security. And this is something that's actually talked about quite a bit. Because the people that don't hire security, like Candace Owens and even some of the Daily Wire guys, the reason they don't need security is because they say just enough to get all our attention, but not the point to where the leftists consider them like a full-on enemy. They may disagree with them and call them out and just name call and all that, but they're not going to outright go after them. Because the Daily Wire people and people like Candace Owens will never fully go the whole conservative routes. Whereas you get people like Tim Pool, who are all, even though like he's more classic liberal, but he's all like against all these narratives coming out, and he is attacked for it to the point that because he has the money for it, he hires security. Then you get guys like us. All it takes is for me to go out to public somewhere and for one wrong person to recognize who I am and try something at me. I can't pay for security. I can't hire a bodyguard to watch my back every 24 hours.
Well, this is also one of those things. It's like I have to question why the corpo overlords are pushing this, because like, why are the corpo overlords seemingly sponsoring assassinations. Like it's the whole like nudge nudge wink wink thing. It's like, I'm not telling you to do it, I'm just saying that it would be beneficial if you did it. And like, why are you going this route? That's
It's
doesn't feel right.
it's the saying of if you were to walk out and you say, "Oh, will someone rid me of this meddlesome priest," and then someone does that for you.
Yeah.
Because, and again, it's like, ladies and gentlemen, as we always say, they don't kill you because you're a Nazi. They call you Nazi, so they have an excuse to kill you.
Yep.
Yes, exactly.
That's actually what I think is the reason why the term Nazi became so fetishized recently, is because of the fact that they want to use it as a rallying cries, like, that guy's a Nazi, you kill him, without having people like actually like think about anything they're doing or saying. It's like they want people to just like have a knee-jerk reaction. It's like anytime someone's accused of being a Nazi, they need to be, whatever immediately. And that it's dishonest and to a fault, but it clearly has a purpose.
Yeah, so this actually kind of brings up something that happened recently with me. So I came across this VTuber just on scrolling through Instagram Reels. I was telling Roger and the rest of the Roller guy people about this. He's this femboy VTuber, but his content was funny, so I started following him and I joined his Discord. And I'm just interacting, everyone's fine. All of a sudden, I can't access the Discord. So I try to figure out what's going on, and I'm reaching out. I commented on one of his posts. I sent him a message. No response from him, but someone tried to comment and say, "Oh, because I'm some anti-LGBTQ Nazi that's going to a safe space or whatever." And first off, do I disagree with a lot of the LGBTQ plus stuff that's out there? Yes. But you don't see me going like, "Death to the gays! Ban the gays!" No! I have made my position perfectly clear that in America, if you are an adult, you are free to live your life as you choose to see fit within the confines of the law. So I've never been against gay people at all. Hell, it's like we got a freaking gay plotline kind of happening in our Crush a Straw game at this point.
See, here's the thing that people forget about Twitter. Is like, one of the things that Elon Musk mentioned when he bought Twitter as part of the Twitter files is that the majority of traffic on Twitter was actually bot interactions. Well, one of the styles of bot interaction that people were doing on Twitter before Elon Musk bought it was what were curated block lists, which is where you would have a website handle your block list for you. And this would often result in chain blocks of anyone who is even tangentially connected to something someone didn't like. Their name would get thrown onto the naughty list. And then people would throw entire naughty lists onto other naughty lists, and thus having someone get blocked by 1 million people they've never even met.
Yeah, and so
because that's what the main that's what the main problem there was, Hunter, was the fact that they weren't actually listening to you, listening to all this stuff. They were listening to people in their sphere that only listen to hearsay about what kind of person
it's all guilt by association bullshit. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
you're friends with someone who we think is a Nazi, so obviously you're a Nazi too because you haven't.
And I don't know. I think it was probably one of the Discord moderators that probably kicked me out and not the Lynx himself, because I actually was able to interact with Lynx a little bit on Discord server before I got kicked out, because I was trying to access. They have an 18+ area. I submitted. They have a whole process to go through, and I was trying to figure out why no one had had approved of it yet, my submission. And we actually had a pleasant exchange with it. And I was like, "Hey, came across your stream, liked this video that was very funny, and so I wanted to just kind of hang out." I very much, if I'm in a place where I know like my politics may not be allowed, but I like the person that created, I will keep my comments to myself. Now, given you can still see my YouTube and my X if you go look at my profile. Literally, my pronouns on my Discord profile are American Patriot. Is what I put for my pronouns on Discord. And I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't there to attack anyone. I was just there to have a good time and interact with a creator I liked. But of course, now I don't do that anymore, because if the people don't want me, I'm not going to interact with that creator anymore. Then,
yeah, that's just the one thing, because like I can say one thing about the the fact that no matter what, people you can have pleasant conversations with some people, but the problem is though is that you won't be able to have a conversation with all of them, because even if they've never interacted with you, they will automatically judge you because of what somebody else has said.
Yeah, I remember.
And that's the biggest issue, is the fact that nobody is willing to have conversations. and
Also,
everything.
some of these professional mod types are snakes.
Yes.
Their entire purpose for having a mod position is so that they can control the community. They in some cases are someone who volunteered to do it because they heard that he needed a moderator, or maybe even talked him into having the moderator position in the first place. So, and it's all about manipulating people to do things their way as the moderator. And it doesn't even have something to do with the things like that's actually one of those things that came out in one of those Reddit mod things where an entire subreddit basically got banned in mass, is because of the fact that the person in the moderator position did things to pretend like it was like the entire moderation team backing him, but in reality, he'd already kicked every single member of the moderation team off the subreddit before he did this.
Yeah, and then then I replied to the person that tried to say I'm an anti-gay Nazi that's trying to invade a state. So I said, "Oh my, what such bigoted language that you shared there, and you don't even know me." And then I blocked them. Not the creator, but the person that left the comment.
That's the thing that I just like, is that the one thing that you always see how they respond to it is that they'll talk about you, this and everything. It's like, show proof. I want you
it's
to
funny.
show
The
me
language
I want you to show me actual evidence of what it is that I said that makes you think this way. And guess what? Most of the time, if not all the time, they have nothing.
The language they use against us describes them more than it describes us.
Well, one of the most
Exactly.
interesting interactions I ever had with someone on Twitter, and I cannot give you the exact wording because this is something that happened years ago, and the only reason I know about it was because of the fact that I was watching my Twitter, the part of Twitter where it shows you things that people replied to you, and it updated real time, had the message pop in for like half a second, just long enough for me to read it before the guy blocked me, and it just functionally erased the message as soon as he blocked me. But it's like this guy went off on me for talking about mental health and mental resilience, and how a key part of mental health is controlling how you interact with the world around you. And he went off on me, and that says something about how, like, well, if you don't need meds to control your depression, you're not really depressed. What the f is wrong with you, dude? And that's all I can remember from what he said, because like I said, it's like I had a few seconds to read it before it disappeared into the ether.
Anyway, I think we've detracted enough from where it is that we're going back to like the people that initially hate us to what the initial thing was that we got people that are supposedly on our side that is ruining our side in the process.
Yeah, because they're liars who pretend to support us solely so they can make us look bad.
Anyway,
it's funny because the left hates everyone on the right, and then everyone in the right hates each other.
Yeah.
Well, also is that the left also like will call people right wing so that they can exercise or exile them from the in crowd as a way of like forcing people to follow the new rules of the in crowd. And this is actually one of those things I had a serious think about, is like looking back at American politics and what were considered no naughty words, and how that's changed over the decades. Because like, okay, yes, part of this was the whole like Nazi thing, but also it's like how people interact with gays changed drastically over the decades, and why? It's because of the fact that the people who were trying to control who had access to the in crowd wanted to tell people what to think, and you had to get on board with it or get exiled.
But should we continue on with the video?
Yeah, let's go ahead and finish this off.
They were actually trending in the other direction until Charlie Kirk was murdered.
Yeah.
And this is the point, isn't it? The most effective political assassination in history, and thanks to the likes of the vile cunt Candace Owens, she has turned Turning Point into the perpetrators of the crime that was against them. I don't get paid by any of these people. I'm not on good terms necessarily with Turning Point USA. They didn't invite me to their stupid event. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. They invited me back after I started criticizing Candace. I'm not going to your event. I'm over all of this shit. The last thing that I need to deal with is a bunch of cowards in conservative media refusing to stand up to her. Megyn Kelly, come on. I appreciate the kind words, but come on. Such fucking pathetic bullshit. You know, and I get people saying, Tim, you know, thank you so much for talking about it. I don't care. I'm not doing a favor for anybody. I'm not doing this to benefit anybody. Nobody's paying me. There's no fucking Russia. There's no fucking Israel. There's just me sticking my neck out and then risking dying for what? A bunch of cowards that don't want to stand up to protect themselves? People like fucking Candace Owens?
I couldn't believe that she put you in the thumbnail
What a fucking cunt.
of her piece today.
I'm done.
The idea that she'd
I'm
imply
fucking done.
that you had some benefit or that you benefit somehow, like it.
She
that's
benefited. I
totally
think she's a
ridiculous.
Fed, and I think she killed Charlie. No one benefited more than her.
But that's another thing that keeps bringing up is everyone still wants to believe that Tim Pool, back when they were doing with Lauren Chen's old company, that they were somehow took money from like Russian agencies. And it actually turns out because Lauren Chen, when that whole thing dropped, she lost everything. Lost her channel, she lost her former X account, and on her new Twitter, it finally got revealed it was all lies and bullshit. There was no paying anyone from Russia trying to pay her or her husband or anything. It was all fucking lies.
Well, that's the other thing is that while people do know that various Russian agencies have been trying to exert influence in American politics, what we know about that is that they're pushing on both sides, like certain specific actors, like because like Russia doesn't actually take part of the left versus right thing. Russia wants pro-Russia sentiment. They don't actually care about the left versus right stuff.
Yeah. But like I said, it's like what you keep on saying, Mar Hawkman. Candace is the actual definition of what a grifter is, not like the fake bullshit terminology that you see people on the left spewing. All she's doing this for is to just get more attention onto her, get more money and everything, and she will burn any and every bridge that she will ever come across just so that she can line up her pockets even more.
Yeah, well, like that's also the like thing is like I was mentioning with the whole like Hassan thing. It's like, how are these people getting corporate funding? Why are the corpos funding them? That's the part about this that really concerns me. It's because like as a corpo, you see it as an investment, as part of a ongoing goal. It's not something you do just for the lulz. You're not in it for the love of the game. You're in it to further the ambitions of your overlords. So what are those?
Yeah,
Something way outside of our pay grade. That's for damn sure.
Well, outside our pay grade, but not outside the ability to influence our lives, unfortunately.
Yeah,
it's like we are going to lose these midterms if we do not get back on track and fight like we're supposed to. Like Temple said, right? One man cannot speak up for all of us. That's the whole reason why I started this show. We all need to have our voices be heard.
Mm-hmm. Well, like it's also the reason why I despise having these talking heads trying to treat them as if they're actually important, because the more you listen to the talking head, the less you listen to anyone who's not sponsored by the corpo overlords.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that reminds me of a funny anecdote. Why did people try to cancel the guy who wrote the Cyberpunk TTRPG on Twitter?
I remember hearing about this, but I don't remember the reasons.
Well, like they actually went so far as to call him a I forget the exact word, but so something white supremacist kind of angle they were going with on this. Um, but do you remember why that is?
I don't know.
Because he wrote Cyberpunk with the idea that the control of the corpo overlords was a more important aspect of daily life than the color of your skin. That was the reason they tried to cancel him and call him a white supremacist on Twitter. Do you know what Mike Pondsmith looks like?
Isn't he black?
Yes.
That's why I remember. Yeah, they were trying to call white supremacy, and despite having such a very white-sounding name, he is a very black man.
Yes.
That doesn't matter because we've seen time and time again that
They did the same to Larry Elder, though.
Yeah, they'll call anyone who's a black person who opposes their racist agenda a Uncle Ruckus or some shit like that.
I like the black face of white supremacy
It's
yeah, that was hilarious.
because that makes so much fucking sense.
I'll tell you right now, these Negro fellas are ruining the white man's country.
Yeah,
I love Uncle Ruckus, though. That was such a great show. But it's also the freaking creator of Boondocks himself, who I think is also very much a classic liberal, has also called out like a lot of this crazy leftism stuff that was going on.
Yeah.
well, it's like with the whole thing with Harry Potter and the creator of Harry Potter getting canceled for certain comments she made, and she's like, so there's this one thing you disagree with me about, and that's it. Okay.
People still bring that up to this day, and a lot of us are just like, we don't fucking care anymore
Mhm.
about what J.K. Rowling has to say. She made a great book. She's responsible for the movies. She's now I think she's now kind of like semi-retired and living her life, and we moved on.
Yeah, because she doesn't need to do anything else because she was actually smart with like the contracts that she signed where she didn't take just a flat out pay. She
actually
got
controls what
residuals
she
and
made.
Revenues. Exactly. It's
But
like
here's
it's
the
like
thing was,
it's
go
like
ahead.
it's like the people tend to forget that you're gonna boycott and everything, and like you're still going to. All right, you can claim that you're going to go to like Universal Studios, but you're not going to buy anything Harry Potter's. Like that doesn't matter. Every ticket that you buy, she gets a little bit of that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what you do. She is still making money off of your dumb ass.
Oh yeah. Here's a fun one. Recently, Epic Games. I don't know if it's still on, but they have one of their like regular like free game things. They actually had Hogwarts Legacy as one of their free games.
That was announced during the Game Awards. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is actually still up as a freebie on Epic Games.
It's supposed to go on until the 18th of December this year of 2025.
I may have to go on and just download it.
You should. It's actually
Even though I don't play on my computer, it's still like, hey, I have the game. So
exactly, like that's the whole entire thing is that it's gotten up to the point where people will actively do something if it pisses those people off. And I should know, I got Hogwarts Legacy because it was making these people mad that it existed. And sure enough, I enjoyed the game. I had no
those
interest in
people
it.
making a
So
stink about
many-
JK. Those people make a stink about J.K. Rowling. Promoted Hogwarts Legacy harder than the actual company that made it.
Yep.
Because
Like,
I mean,
it
there was
would
that
not
whole
have
website
been-
they made trying to attack the people that played the game. I still have not forgiven them for how they treated Silvervale over the whole thing.
And Henya.
Well, Pikami.
Well, okay, she used to be called Pikami. She changed to Henya, but yeah,
Yeah.
same person.
I mean,
But yeah,
it got so ridiculous that just how they were just attacking people, all for just playing a game.
Also,
well,
let's not
actually, this is one of those things I mentioned earlier about like online bot farms. okay, I didn't mention it this stream, but a lot of those old school Twitter rage mobs were actually just bot farms.
Yeah, but the other one that got me was that we were going back to Hassan, because Hassan was going to stream the game, and he stated that every dollar that he made from that stream was going to go to some like trans charity. But that didn't matter to them. Oh, you're playing a game. That means that you hate trans people, even though he said that he was going to send all the money that he made from those streams to like a trans charity. These people have no integrity. They have no purpose in their life except to just spew hate and to just chronically be online because there's nothing else going on in their lives.
And then there's the fact that a lot of that stuff is actually just bots rage posting and just to piss off actual people. So it's like you have what appears to be like 20 different people doing this, but it's really just one person.
Yeah, it's just crazy. And then they had the whole website they had that we were trying to dox people that got taken down after a bit, thankfully. So,
and then for the reverse, you have the DEI detected list, which is just like hilarious because, first you have this Sweet Baby Inc. one where it was just a Steam list. Like, okay, these are the games that Sweet Baby Inc. has publicly claimed to have been part of. He wasn't even phrasing it as a bad thing. So like, if you like Sweet Baby Inc.'s work, you could go to this list and download all of their games if you actually like Sweet Baby Inc.'s work. And then people like completely spazzed out about that as if they thought that the mention of them being associated with Sweet Baby Inc. was inherently a bad thing. I was like, wait a second, isn't that a self-own where you're expecting Sweet Baby Inc.'s existence to be a bad thing and you want to hide their existence?
Well, let's not forget that the only reason why Cabrutus, who made a DEI detective group on Steam, even got the popularity that he did claim is because one of the people who worked with Sweet Baby Inc. made a massive stink about it.
I still, I forget what the name of the game was, but I still think it's hilarious that they try to make it a game about black people robbing museums.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious. It's like it was one of those like so you want to perpetuate the worst, most negative stereotypes about a racial group by making a game where you literally act it out.
Yeah, that was it's like this is gonna be amazing. Who would have thought of that?
Also, from what I've seen of the gameplay on that, it's actually a pretty lame game because of the fact that it takes Tomb Raider traps and makes Tomb Raider traps seem simple and mundane because like the ridiculously over elaborate security measures which have no reason other than to turn on an alarm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, it's just I don't know. I had thought I lost it again. Actually, let me see. I'm curious. Let me see if anything funny pops up on Google News for me on my end, because there's always something funny that pops up every now and then.
Well, I try to end the show on a much more light tone note.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I mean, I got something here that I was going to show you all afterwards, but if you want to end it on a more lighter comedic tone, this goes back to D&D. Somebody, if anybody's ever heard of the comic artist Bowel Buddy, he made a D&D alignment comic over pregnancies.
Oh no.
So we could just end that. We could just end the show of all this and see if you all completely agree with that's how the alignments would work.
I think I've actually seen. I may know what comic you're talking about. Actually, let's see. Oh, yep, I've seen this.
Yeah, we'll just full screen it. Here we go.
Yeah, let's end it on a laugh.
Voice acting and everything.
You said it was a safe day!
Yes, and
A day in which your precious sperm can safely inseminate my egg in holy union. How joyous to think we are now bound eternally, not only in spirit, but legally as well.
I used contraception.
98% contraceptive
Wait,
effectiveness is not 100%, my love.
I mean,
we can only
I
make
guess you're
best
right.
when faced with the chaos of the universe. I
yeah.
shall neither urge you to stay or go.
Oh.
That is your choice to make, just
Okay.
as it was my choice to carry this pregnancy.
Whoops. I said I would cast contraceptive magic on myself, but I might have forgot. Well, don't worry. I'll use it myself. It ain't your problem.
Get angry.
Also, come by and fuck me whenever, okay?
You're pregnant?
Of course I'm pregnant. Didn't you read the contract you signed before sex?
That thing was 500 pages long!
Oh my. Then I better explain to you what else you signed up for.
I said it was probably a safe day, okay? But then you got all crazy and mating pressed me yelling, "Get pregnant!"
You leg locked me so I couldn't pull out!
Oops.
Yeah,
Look,
oops.
we were both irresponsible. So you don't have to marry me as long as you pay child support, okay?
Jeez, stop panicking like a bitch. I said it might be yours, not that it was. Relax. It's only like a 1 to 20 chance that it's you.
1 to 20.
Don't worry, if the baby comes out with
A D20
horns or
roll
scales
chance.
or tentacles, I won't ask for child support. Also, do you have time now? I kinda wanna fuck.
Yes, Mommy.
Oh my, look at what you've done. It seems the condom accidentally broke. Now, by the laws of this land, you are obligated to marry me and serve as my semen supplying fuck toy for the rest of your
Valkyria.
life.
That's Valkyria.
Please don't leave me.
What do I do?
It's yours. I can't raise your
What?
son alone. You're all that I have. Please. Shit. I was planning on controlling him with my mind-blowing sex techniques. Didn't think the condom would break. Time for a backup plan. Control him with guilt and obligation. I'm sorry I'm such a burden. I'm so sorry.
Wait, you're
Pregnant? No shit. You think I give a fuck? Hurry up and jam your dick in or I'll do it myself. Marriage? Why would I marry a meat dildo? Oh, leaving so soon? You can try and run, but I assure you, my magic won't allow you to get far.
You monster! Stay back!
That last one always gets me.
Okay, was this made by Meat Canyon?
No, like I said, it was and the comic itself was done by
Ball Buddy or something, I think is what they go
Ball
by.
Buddy. But it was voice acting and everything by let me pull it back up. Solos Astralis or Astralis.
Yeah, I think they do a lot of the freaking it's the girl that writes like all the like the warrior women. They voice act a lot of her comics too whenever she does them as well. Yeah, God,
there was a good way to.
I forgot how unhinged that was.
Well,
on that note,
does that equal up with the alignment charts?
Time to run away.
although if that lawful the lawful evil drow lady came to me like that, I'd be like, yes, ma'am.
You would.
I would. But anyways, on that note, thank you everyone for doing this for another episode of the Ultracast. Next week, hopefully, if Duskull gets his laptop back, we'll be doing our first session of our Out of the Black Hat campaign, Flushed Out, in which we will see how these crazy characters that are the other members of the cast have made will do in this weird deep space environment they now find themselves in.
Yeah.
All right, and so Roger, where can everyone find you at?
You can find me over on Country Time Pop, where I'm still, like I said, I'm still getting everything set up, but just be prepared for the beginning of the year where you can get your daily dose of Southern style news and reviews of all things pop culture.
All right, and then Marhawk Man, you're the only other one here. Where can everyone find you at?
I'm on X, YouTube. Sometimes stream on Twitch. Sometimes stream on Kick, and YouTube. I'm still working on doing a video series, going over the plot points of all of the Star Trek episodes, and looking at it from a perspective of like, what could you do by like borrowing pieces of this to write your own story? Because, like, as I mentioned before, there's a lot of plot points that the Star Trek writers forgot they introduced. That would be interesting to have a story, because like they're already in the Star Trek settings. So hey,
And as always, you can find me on X under the Ultra American TTRPGer at Ultra TTRPGer. I go by the same name on YouTube and Rumble as well, where I usually will try to live stream on Friday nights, but I kind of have been kind of slacking on that just because the work weeks have been getting me with Christmas rush kicking in. So I apologize that I've not done a proper Friday live stream yet. I will try to at least get one or two in before the month ends for the new year. Hard to believe we're almost halfway through this month already, and it's going to be 2026 before we know it.
I know, right?
And then you can join us usually about every Saturday, where we're going to do bi-weekly. We'll talk about news and pop culture, and then the other week we're going to start doing our Out of the Black Hat campaign. And we'll play for that, and we'll play for that one as long as we want to until we get bored with it, and maybe we'll do a different game. We'll see. So
yeah.
Actually, quite a few different sci-fi games I think we'll probably start playing there, because I think that kind of seems to be everyone's jam, is we get away from fantasy and do like science fiction or something else for a change.
Or like old school pop whatever, where the people who didn't care about the distinction between science fiction and fantasy.
Oh, well, you mean like Gamma World or something like that, or Shadowrun?
Well, those are examples, I suppose, but because like I've actually like started reading some of the old like Pops magazines from back before the Comics Code Authority existed. Some of those had some very like we don't care approach to whether it was considered science fiction.
Oh, so that kind of makes me think about like Dark Tower kind of vibes, because I was listening to a podcast talking about those books for another game that I may end up running at some point. So, because Dark Tower was a lot, it's like Wild West, modern day, a futuristic post-apocalypse, had a lot of everything mixed into it.
Well, because like so some of these stories would have things like like this guy with a high-tech pistol, and he's fighting people who are literally just like using glowing rocks to summon demons. Like, okay, that's a thing.
Yep. So, anyways, I hope you all have a great weekend. We will hopefully see you all next week. If we happen not to play Out of the Black Hat, we'll just talk about it, whatever else pop culture and news-wise happened like this next week.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. We'll have to just play it by ear for now. But you can always find us Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. Central Time. Change that to your own time zone, because I don't like because that is not my responsibility for your time zones. So, all right, everyone, you have a great weekend, and